the city I'm from, the prosecutors and the lawyers and all, they work in the same building. A lot of them been working together for 20 years plus. So Manny wasn't coming to Memphis to make friends. And he explained it to me when I first hired him. So with that being said, like he was willing to do and file motions and do things that Mr. Massey wasn't willing to do. And I believe that's because of the outside of work relationship that he may or may not have had with the prosecutor, Mr. Paul Hagerman.
Stories 101, man. Once again, we're back with another special episode, man. I got the privilege and the honor to sit down with Mr. Govan Hernandez, man. Cat, man, what's good with it?
What it do, Joe?
Man, for the first and foremost time, go ahead and reintroduce yourself. And overall, tell them how much time you had served overall.
Overall, like during my life or just on this last situation?
During your life.
That's probably not served about a total of about 7 years.
Definitely, man.
And for the ones who don't know, Orange Mound quit, Mr. Not Guilty, Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do this one a little different, man. Normally I go through the what happened and how you got set up, how everything went down. But I want to kind of go backwards because you just got found not guilty for the conspiracy to commit murder on Memphis rapper Young Dolph. First and foremost, whenever you get arrested for something like that and you actually have to sit in county, because you was in county, right?
Yeah.
What's the name of the county?
It's called 201 Poplar.
Okay, and that's the only county in Memphis?
It's Shelby County, but the name of the jail is we call it 201 Poplar.
All right. Have you already sat in there before? Like you've already did?
Yeah. When you get arrested in Memphis, that's where you normally go.
That's right.
And it's been a few times where bonds done been revoked, and you can't make bond. So yeah, I've been there a few times.
All right. My first question, man, is before we get into the stories of being there, is it any difference when normally you get arrested for some like a small little whatever most people probably who know you go in there, see people but to go in there for that high of a charge, what is that experience like? And is it different than just going in for any type of misdemeanor felony type charge?
Yeah, it's a big difference, because typically, unfortunately, I done had over 20 arrests, and that's probably just, I'm being nice on the number. But, growing up in the Orange Mound community, you tend to run into BS every day.
Yeah.
So with that being said, going in for a typical drug charge, gun case, whatever it may be, it was totally different from the last experience, because by my case being so high profile, they had me in this stupid ass red shirt. I was on 23-1 solitary confinement the whole time I was there. And, so it's a big difference when you get arrested on a regular charge. You just go through the motions. They take you in. You get sent to general population. You get to move around, get to use the phone, whenever you want to, if you got minutes on it. So it wasn't like that this time. It was a different process. Every time I had to move, I couldn't move unless I had at least 3 officers with me, shackled up from head to toe. So, it was a big difference.
Yeah, explain a red shirt for those who may not know what that means.
Red shirts, they give it to the high-profile inmates. It just stands out to let everybody know in the jail, we can't move without proper supervision, being shackled up. And it also stands out to let everybody know that we solitary, confined inmates.
For the guards themselves, how do the guards treat a red shirt, or not even the red shirt, treat you during this scenario as far as for you to be in here in the city for this scenario? I'm sure that, I'm sure the guards is fans as well or something of that nature. Did you ever have any situations of running with the guards as far as any type of, just what kind of treatment did they give you?
Man, it was number love. You know, I can't even remember a bad incident that I had with any staff members related to the case. Of course, I done got into it with, you know, officers about petty shit, about cutting the TV off, or we trying to watch a certain game and call down to the TV room, get the proper game put on. But far as getting any backlash from officers because of the case that I was involved in, nah, that didn't happen to me. They kept it professional. If they did feel some type of way, they never voiced it or showed it.
Was there any other type of high profile inmates in there while you was there?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I was, you know, the tier that I was on, the unit that I was, for the most part, it was for what they would consider either high profile cases, or they would even put people down there who done had assaults on staff, shit like that, you know, who need to be housed by themselves. The jail that I was in, it was overcrowded. And that's just saying it in a nice way. So they would just juggle inmates around. But for the most part, you know, we had no contact with nobody for the most part.
And you did that for that situation. You was in there for 10 months just for that situation.
Yeah. I was on 23-1 for 10 months.
Why it take so long for you to, because you was able to bond out eventually?
Yeah. I didn't get a bond until the 10th month.
Oh.
You know, I was asking my attorney in Memphis, my ex-attorney, William Massey, to file for me a bond hearing. And, you know, I'm trying to make bond. They ain't got shit on me because I ain't did shit, you know. And he was just taking his time for whatever reason, constantly giving me excuse after excuse on why we hadn't pushed for a bond hearing yet. So when I started disagreeing with him and seeing shit for what it was, I just knew I had to make the best decision for me and my life and my kids, and that was to move on and hire Manny Aurora from Atlanta, Georgia.
Wait, so during this process, you had one attorney, and then you had to separate from that attorney, get another one. Was that basically because you didn't have a bond, or?
No, it wasn't even so much about the bond. It was a lot of things I was disagreeing with, how the case was being handled. Certain motions wouldn't file, and things like that, you know. And I just felt like it's high profile of a case that I had. I didn't see the urgency, you know, from him. The normal urgency that I see. I'm talking about what 80% of the city would say is the best attorney in Memphis, Tennessee, William Massey. And, you know, I've been with him since I was 18. I never once thought about getting another attorney, you know, because of the relationship and the bond that we had. But on this case, it was just something different. I even, you know, I spoke to him about it before I got released on bond, and I looked him in the eye and I asked him, I said, Massey, if there's anything that's keeping you from or hindering you from representing me to the best of your ability, like I know you can, just give me a head nod or something. Just let me know. I know you might not be at liberty to speak on it, but just let me know this is my life on the line.
Yeah.
And he looked me in the eye and he told me it wasn't. But, you know, still to this day in my heart, I know it was something, whatever it was, but, you know, and I think it started to bother Massey because when I reached out to him and let him know that I was bringing Manny Aurora on board on the legal team, because I didn't fire Massey, you know, to be technical about it. But when I brought Manny Aurora on, he didn't agree with it. Wow. And that was another red flag to me, because why wouldn't you want to work with another high profile attorney like Manny Aurora, who done represented several celebrity, celebs or whatever in the hip hop industry or whatever, NFL athletes, was on the Donald Trump defense team. Why wouldn't you want to work with him?
So they're supposed to work together.
Yeah, I was bringing Manny on to work with Massey, and when I let Massey know, Massey was just like, he declined, and he was like, he'll just give me my money back. So he gave me the full $25,000 back, not a dollar short.
Oh, damn. You said you felt he was falling short. He wasn't representing you to the best of your ability. What were you seeing him not doing? Was it people telling you like, hey, you're supposed to be having this happen? Or was it just you knowing?
Yeah, I didn't need nobody to tell me anything because, I done been through the system several times. When I was getting legal books and stuff sent in to me. So, I was just studying law during the whole time. When you're on 23-1, you can stand at the bars and watch TV for an hour or two. After so long, your legs get tired. Mm-hmm. So, it's time to lay down and do some reading. So I was getting a lot of legal work. Legal books and shit sent in to me. So I just doing a whole lot of reading, and I seen it was a lot of things. My rights have been violated like so many different ways. I didn't have a bond hearing within 72 hours, like you're supposed to have. At this point, when I found this out, I was 6-7 months in without a bond hearing yet, so just a lot of things that I was seeing, picking up on in these books, and it just didn't sit right with me. And even when Manny came on, Manny asked me, he was like, it was a lot of things that, a lot of things that was done that he wouldn't have done, and there was a lot of things that wasn't done that he would have done. And, he said he's not going to speak on it. He never said any bad words about Mr. Massey, but he just said he would have handled a lot of things differently.
Yeah. Do you feel William Massey would have seen how the case played out, and him being your long-term attorney, if he would have fought that case for you, just, strictly just if you stayed in there till trial, do you feel you would have got the same verdict?
If we were going to continue to go the same route that we were going, I would say no. If we were going to go the route of the William Massey that I knew when I was 18, I never met a stronger attorney prior to this situation than Mr. Massey. So if I'm going to trial with that William Massey, then I feel like I could have possibly had the same verdict. But the route that we were going, I'd probably have 2 life sentences right now.
And none against Mr. Massey, but you feel like he lost a step from what you saw, or was it just, what do you feel about this trial, or about you, and for this moment, that he just wasn't on point like normally he'd be?
My belief is that the city I'm from, the prosecutors and the lawyers and all, they work in the same building. A lot of them have been working together for 20 years plus. So Manny wasn't coming to Memphis to make friends. And he explained it to me when I first hired him. So with that being said, like he was willing to do and file motions and do things that Mr. Massey wasn't willing to do. And I believe that's because of the outside of work relationship that he may or may not have had with the prosecutor, Mr. Paul Hagerman.
That's real. Understandable.